Sometimes people asking me, you are a software engineer, experienced guy, why you are not sharing anything cool from the technical perspective? Some, senior software engineer wisdom. Imposter! And in this video, I will show you how to get new open positions in almost any company in JSON format. So get yourself a tier, I will share some technical stuff. It's not a secret that maybe 80% of companies are now using so-called ATSs, application tracking systems. You create new open positions there, close them, manage referral bonuses, manage applications and stuff like this. We are speaking about well-known systems like SmartRecruiters, Greenhouse, Ashby, and believe me, there are many more. So all this system, I believe all of them, provide specific API that is integrated with the career pages. And the coolest part, most such systems have an open API, so you can fetch all the open positions from the company for free in JSON format. It does not require any authentication. In this video, we will not cover what to do with the information. I leave it to your creativity and entrepreneurial thinking. But you may understand that there are two tricky parts here. Entrepreneurial thinking. Okay, whatever. But there are two tricky parts here. How to know if a company is using an ATS and how to know which exact ATS it is using, because this information generally is not public. And here is the trick. We will go to Apify, and if you didn't know, Apify is the marketplace where people, let's say data. And then we search there for APIs that provide you open positions feed. And first of all, you will be surprised, at least I was surprised, that you can easily buy all those open positions feed. You can easily build yourself job boards with fresh open positions from any company. You can also apply any filters you want and target any jobs you want, any countries you want, and stuff like that. You can even build a job board dedicated only to Kubernetes positions or Lisp engineers. For example, I use this one. This is called Career Site Job Listings Feed. You see, it's very popular and, by the way, not very expensive. And why I call this method free? Because Apify gives you $5 every month, let's say for testing purposes. But it's worth mentioning that there are also highly professional paid services which focus exactly on providing you structured data without hassle related to parsing, fighting with anti-scrape protection of various kinds. And one of such services is sponsoring this video. I'm speaking about SerpApi. SerpApi gives you clean, structured search results from Google, YouTube, and more. They handle all the scraping headaches, captchas, rotating proxies, layout changes, so you can focus entirely on actually building stuff. For example, SerpApi can feed your AI agents with real-time structured search data, so no scraping is needed at all. For me personally, one of the coolest things that SerpApi can do is to provide you structured result from Google Maps by location. With some additional AI magic, you can create very useful niche apps. Just as example, a free business idea for you. Build the app which will find the nearest locations of bicycle washing services. Probably if I will build something serious, I will go in this direction. So once again, SerpApi, the guys who provide you the data, what to do with this data, it's totally on you. You can get started with 250 free credits by clicking on the link in the pinned comment to this video or in the description of this video. And if you are occasionally watching me on TV, simply scan the QR code on the screen. Thanks again to SerpApi for sponsoring this video. Now coming back to the main topic of this video, remember I was going to tell you how to get free JSON feed of open positions. So we go to Career Site Job Listings Feed, go to Input and set the desired parameters and set the limit of results to 200, and it's totally enough for demonstration. Let's look for Rust engineers, set the location to Germany, and we will leave the ATS field as it is, so it will fetch data from all the systems. Press save and start, and Actors starts to do its magic. Here are the results. Rust engineers. We have a company column, and most importantly, we know which ATS each one is using. You can see it in the source column. Now, another tricky part, you need to find out the Open API URL. For the demonstration, we will not use well-known systems like SmartRecruiters or Greenhouse. You will easily find necessary information in internet. Let's pick up something tricky. We take the company Intetics, it uses Workable, and it says that the source domain is jobs.workable.com. And now let's use some creativity and investigation talents. This is, by the way, my favorite and most fun part, the investigation. First, I usually try to Google. Sometimes necessary information lies on the surface, but not in this case. We have some documentation, some AI-generated stuff, which is not very much helpful. Okay, let's go to the old school way. For example, let's click on the position URL with the network tab open in DevTools. It turned out even easier than I expected. You see, it exposes their job feed directly in the inline script. We can see the company ID here. Let's check. And here we are, our JSON feed with the open positions. The fun part is that you don't need to do this for every company. Now that you know the algorithm for the Workable ATS, you can simply generate a module which will extract company ID for you and use it to fetch the data. Because the URL stays the same, you just need to map the company name to the company ID used in Workable. And basically you just need to generate each dedicated module for each ATS. And trust me, it's not so hard to do. Of course, it works if you know that the company uses Workable, but generally, I think you understand the idea. Usually it took me from 10 minutes to a couple of hours to figure out the algorithm how to get the public APIs of different systems. Now you take your money, buy tokens and start generating your own app. But what is cool about the stuff? You get access to new openings before most people do. So first of all, here is the example what you can build with this data. I generated a simple service that scans career pages of almost 60 biggest German tech companies and notifies me about new openings. To save money, since I'm not looking for a job right now, I instructed the crawler to repeat the scan every hour, but I can easily set it up to 10 minutes, let's say, and it means I will get notifications about a new position of, let's say, a front-end engineer at Siemens in 10 minutes after it's shown on their career pages. So I think you've got the idea. You get information first, you apply first. If your application matches and reaches human eyes ahead of others, you get better chances of getting reviewed and maybe invited to a first interview. My application is available on hirepulseai.com. The app is fully free, so use it. And since you watched to the very end of this video, I can share you some story. When I was generating this application, I mean HirePulse AI, I found that in internet such service already exists. It exists already for 5 years, and it has already had huge investments in it. It tracks something like 8,000 companies every 10 minutes. They have mobile applications, so you get those notifications instantly on your mobile. And yeah, it looked very professional and something very big. They charge something like 30 euro for their monthly subscription. And you know what? I contacted the founder of this company, and by the way, I can say that that guy was very helpful. He answered the questions. He was very positive and open, I can say. Of course, I created an account in this company, and I just wanted to try how the service works. And recently I got a notification that this company eventually went bankrupt. So probably something is not working here. Thank you for watching to the end. See you in my next videos.